When you think about the people behind iconic artists, the ones who really shape things, well, today we're diving into the story of a true matriarch, capital M, someone whose influence is just undeniable.
It really is. And it's fascinating to get a chance to unpack, the origins, what actually goes into making someone that kind of powerful figure. We see the success stories. Yeah.
Exactly, but rarely the beginning, the building blocks.
Hmm.
So we've got our hands on some excerpts from the Memoir Matriarch, Oprah's book club, a memoir. This is by Tina Knowles, mother of Beyoncé, Solange, and Kelly Rowland.
And it's due out, what, April 2025? So this is a pretty early look. Oprah's involvement signals it's likely quite a deep personal account, not just celebrity fluff.
Right. It seems to cover her whole journey, Galveston childhood, family, race, grief, creativity, all of it.
Which is what makes a memoir compelling, isn't it? It's not just one life, but the currents, the experiences that shape that life, her journey to becoming this global figure.
Totally. And these excerpts, they really take you back. We're talking 1950s Galveston, Texas. You picture little Celestina and Beyoncé, youngest of 7 kids.
Wow, 7. Big family.
Huge. And this really tight-knit, extended family all around. The memoir paints this picture. You can almost hear the early rock and soul, the Gulf Coast sounds.
It creates such a vivid world, doesn't it? Where family and place, the music, the beach, they weren't just background. They were like actively shaping her.
Yeah, formative. But interestingly, even within that close world, she's described as precocious, even unruly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dreaming of something bigger, a more grandiose world, driven by instinct, a bit impulsive maybe.
That's quite a contrast, isn't it?
Uh,
Loving her world, but also feeling maybe constrained by it. The memoir mentions the realities of race and the limitations of girlhood explicitly.
it does, and that suggests this inner drive, this resilience, even from a young age, wanting something more.
You see that grounded in the historical reality, too, like the detail about the beach access.
Oh yeah, that hit me. 30 miles of coast. But black residents could only use 3 blocks between 29th and 32nd Street.
Wow. That single fact just powerfully illustrates the segregation, the barriers she would have been aware of growing up.
Definitely. But it seems like her main anchors, the real constants, were family, especially her oldest sister, Selena.
Right. Selena was, what, 27 when Tina was born?
Yeah, 27. And already had 8 kids by the time she was 30.
Incredible. So those nieces and nephews, they were much closer in age to Tina than her own siblings.
Exactly. The memoir says they were basically her best friends, her first peer group. She talks about the excitement, feeling held by the life in Selena's house.
And Selena herself sounds like quite a character, a spitfire.
Totally. Glamorous Salem menthols, dark red lipstick, always wore a girdle, but also super practical. The big sister of the whole neighborhood, apparently. Very no nonsense.
You get a sense of that from the quote, get your stuff together, because we don't have time for that.
Haha, yeah. Direct. You can imagine how that kind of efficiency, that organizational drive, might have rubbed off on young Tina.
Absolutely. And learning that Selena was a seamstress, her husband a trucker, it just underlines the hard work, the resourcefulness in that family environment.
Tina expresses real gratitude for that relationship. You can tell it was foundational.
Hmm. And then there's the bond with her nephew, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny, yeah.
Yeah.
Described as her very best friend. He was 9 when she was 5.
So only 4 years older. Close.
Inseparable, apparently. There's a funny bit from her mom about how close they were, just always together.
And the description of him is interesting, too. Quiet, observant, always looking like he was listening to or for something only he could hear.
Yeah, isn't that evocative? It's just a different kind of personality, maybe more introspective than the outwardly fiery Selena.
Definitely. A different kind of influence, perhaps.
Mm.
Maybe fostering a sensitivity to, quieter things, observation.
Could be. She talks about just feeling happy the moment she saw him, that instant connection.
That's lovely. So a contrast then to her brother Ronnie. He was closer in age, right? Only 2 years older.
Yeah, Ronnie was 7 when she was 5. And their dynamic sounds more, well, competitive.
Ah, the classic sibling rivalry.
Totally. Especially about who was taller. Lots of playful fights, sometimes getting a bit physical, it sounds like.
Typical kid stuff. And Ronnie would tease her.
Yeah, but she apparently gave as good as she got. Her reaction was basically, I am the boss.
Uh-huh. So that assertiveness was there early on, too.
Seems like it. But what's interesting is how Johnny fits into that dynamic.
How so?
He was apparently the quiet mediator. When Tina and Ronnie fought, or among the whole group of nieces and nephews, it was Johnny whose decisions kind of stuck. He was the quiet leader.
That's fascinating. So influence wasn't about being the loudest or the most forceful.
Right. It seems Johnny's quiet authority, the way the other kids followed his lead, might have shown Tina a different kind of power. The power of observation, maybe a more subtle way of guiding people.
That makes a lot of sense. A skill that would definitely be useful later on, especially nurturing creative talent, you'd think.
For sure. And there's this one really lovely image described. The kids walking together, sort of meandering in their own unique way, an unspoken rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And Tina picks a buttercup and just tucks it over Johnny's ear.
Oh, that's sweet. Just a small gesture, but it says so much about their connection, doesn't it? That quiet affection.
It really does. It brings that bond to life, makes you think about how those deep early connections shape how we understand love and relating to people later.
Absolutely. So when you pull these pieces together, Galveston, the big family, the contrasting influences of Selena and Johnny, you start to see a clearer picture forming.
Yeah, you really do. These weren't just random childhood details. They feel like crucial ingredients in shaping Tina Knowles.
The takeaway, I think, is just how significant that specific time, that place, and those particular family bonds were. Galveston wasn't just a setting, it was like a crucible.
Right. Forging her character, her resilience, laying the groundwork for the matriarch she became.
Exactly.
It does give you that aha moment, seeing where it all began. You get this glimpse into the world, vibrant, loving, but also challenging, that nurtured this woman who'd influenced so many.
It really does. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah?
How so? Well, you consider these strong figures, Selena's practical strength, Johnny's quiet guidance, the sheer force of that family unit.
Hmm.
How did those specific early dynamics translate
Translate into what?
into her later success, not just nurturing Beyoncé, Solange, and Kelly's immense talent, but also her own achievements in business, in fashion, in philanthropy? I feel like this memoir offers a really compelling origin story.
A story suggesting that the roots of incredible influence often lie at those very first, very intimate connections. It makes you want to read the whole thing, right?
Definitely. It seems like there's a lot more to uncover there.